Okay. Depending on the kind of temperature in your room, you might want a blanket or a little jumper or something like that. And we're going to come to find a comfortable seated position. So whatever that might mean for you. So for me, it's going to be legs crossed. For you, it could be legs extended. Something on the bum, if that feels okay, as opposed to on the knees. And as we arrive, I'm just going to start to close down the eyes. And that could be closing them down completely. That could be just taking the gaze right down to the earth, finding a focus point there. And checking in that we feel it's not always comfortable to sit kind of on the earth in a cross-legged position, not something that we're used to, but checking that we feel like this is okay. So there's no pain. We're going to be able to sit here just for a couple of minutes while we arrive. And then expanding awareness a little bit further around the body. So we might take awareness to the spine. See if we could sit up a tiny bit taller. Like the crown of the head is shining up towards the night sky. Maybe to the seat. Even weight in both sides of the seat. We feel grounded. Maybe attention to the face, just checking that we're not clenching the teeth, furrowing the brow. So this kind of blanket of relaxation falls over the face. It comes down through the throat space, into the shoulders, down the arms, and into the very tips of the fingers. So it's an upright but comfortable position. And from there, just a moment to check in with the mind. So acknowledging that our day up until this point has passed. Whatever is gone is gone. We can't be certain what even this practice holds, let alone what the rest of the evening or our day tomorrow holds. So try not to grasp too much into the future. And perhaps to be present, we come to the breath. So you could place both hands just gently on the low belly. You might place left hand on the heart space, right hand on the belly, and just connect for a moment with the breath. Where do you experience the breath? If you've had a bit of a rush to get to your practice, it might be slightly higher up. It might be coming up into the chest. As we arrive and just start to slow everything down, including the nervous system, I want to see if we can breathe deep into the belly. And still be a bit of motion, a bit of movement that comes up towards the chest, but much less. The expansion exists within the belly. And then the contraction as we breathe out. Just note the steadiness of breath. And perhaps we can take that throughout our practice. Pausing if we need to at any point. And then let's bring the palms together. We're just going to start to rub the palms together. So it's a technique called palming. So build up a little bit of heat that we can feel in the hands. And when we're ready, it's quite common to take this to the face, open up the palms. It could be, though, if you have any areas of the body that you feel are a little bit tender, need a little bit of care, you might take the heat there. So I'm going to go for face, just gently opening the palms over the face. Feel that little bit of heat. Could be on the knees, the back, the heart space. And then release the hands down onto the knees. Gently blinking the eyes open if they're not already. We'll take a breath in, sweep the hands up, we rejoin the palms. As we breathe out, we come to the heart space. Maybe we drop the chin to the chest. We're going to take 2 more. So working through side body, grounding, also working through head, neck, throat space. Just with your own breath. After that 3rd one, hands are back at the heart space. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, we're going to turn torso to right side. You could keep the palms pressed together where they are, rolling that right shoulder around. You might place right hand behind you, left hand just somewhere where it feels comfortable. As we breathe in, we re-lengthen back through the spine. And as we breathe out, we just gently coaxing that right shoulder round. And the head, the neck, the gaze settles wherever it feels comfortable. Softening into the knees. Just breathe in here for a moment. Seated twist. Sending the breath into the belly. We take a breath in when it's there. As we breathe out, we're turning back to center, rejoining the palms, checking that the spine is nice and long. Breathe in when it's there. Breathe out, rotate torso to the left. Maybe we set the hands down. Maybe we keep the palms together. Wherever we are, we breathe in to find some length and space. And we breathe out just to gently coax ourselves into that twist. Taking a breath in, and as we breathe out, we're going to come to center, rejoin the palms just for a breath. And as we breathe out, we'll release and make our way onto our hands and knees. So however you get there is fine. Whatever support you need is fine. We're spreading the fingers. Tops of the feet are down at the moment. Spine is kind of in this neutral position. There's a little bit of a hug of the belly button up into the low back, a draw of the shoulders away from the ears. So it feels nicely strong. Then as we breathe in, we let the belly button start to come down towards the earth. The heart space opens forwards and we just gaze forwards. As we breathe out, push into the earth, arch the spine up to the sky, tuck the chin to the chest. Let's take a couple more, again, just with your own rhythm of breath. And back to our tabletop position. Just edging our way towards the back of the mat if we're near to the front of the mat, because we're going to move forwards. And bringing the hands forwards, we've got a nice extension through the arms, but before we let the seat lift and the belly drop down, we're going to push into the hands, take the gaze down, but feel like the back is nice and long. Perhaps the knees and the hips are in line. So this is kind of a version of a half downward dog. Then we take a breath in when it's there. As you breathe out, slightly rotate the inner elbows towards the sky. Drop the forearms down. You might slide them forwards. And we let the heart come down towards the ground, but we keep the bum nice and high. So then we come into our melting heart. If it feels quite intense to reach the arms forward, you could cross the arms, rest the forehead down. Just taking a couple of breaths here. Each exhale breath, we might literally feel that the heart space starts to draw down, but it might just be a breath of release, relaxation. And then slowly starting to lift ourselves up. We're going to come into our counter pose, where we bring in knees together, sitting the seat back to the heels. I'm going to use a block for that. And then keeping seat as close to heels as we can. It's like we're tucking the chin in towards the chest, forehead comes down towards the ground, arms rest down by the side of the body, palms up towards the sky. So a version of our child's pose with the knees together. But if that feels like, some people it feels like, oh, the breath can't really expand from the belly, then you could absolutely take your knees a little bit wider. It's like the arms are heavy, elbows drop into the earth, shoulders rolling forwards. And then bringing the hands to the earth as we start to make our way up. And perhaps bring in your blocks, if you've got them, just in front of you, and placing the hands down. So I'm going to go for like this sort of second height. You could go for whichever height you prefer. Taking them over to the left slightly, so I'm going to step the right foot forwards and wide. And then as we breathe in, I'm just going to lean the body weight forwards, the right heel might lift. As we breathe out, we're shifting body weight back, so the right toes might lift. So a couple like that. Just warming up nicely into the legs, the hip space. And then we return to our low lunge position. So this front knee is over the heel or the ankle. Let's tuck the back toes, lift that back knee. And at that point, dependent on kind of all different things, length of body, you might want to take the blocks up a little bit higher. If it doesn't feel comfortable to be higher, then you can keep that back knee to the earth. You're going to push down through the left hand. So at this point, shoulder and left wrist are nicely in line. As we breathe in, turn to the right. And we could rest right hand on hip. We could take it behind the back. We could reach the fingertips up towards the sky. The gaze might shift up, but equally, you might feel more comfortable looking straight out, or you might feel like you want to look down. Couple of breaths here, revolve lunge. Gently bending into that front knee, coaxing that back heel towards the earth. We breathe in, we're in the twist. We breathe out, that right hand comes down, back knee drops down towards the ground, and we can uncurl the toes. You can keep the blocks nice and high. Take a breath in, kind of open the heart space forwards, gazing forwards, finding space. And as we breathe out, we just start to bring the torso down inside that right knee. So you might find that you naturally come onto the outer edge of the right foot. You might find the right toes turn away. Head can be nice and heavy. Breath is deep. If we need to, we breathe in. We rise up for a little bit of space. And then as we breathe out, we just surrender back down towards the earth. So not pushing, not straining, just going to an edge that feels natural. One more deep breath. Let's turn the right toes back towards the top of the mat. Bringing the hands back onto the blocks. Might take them down slightly lower. As we sweep that right leg back, extend it away if you've got some space. And the blocks can be handy underneath your hands here to give you an extra little bit of height in balancing tabletop. So kind of gently pushing that heel away with the flex of the foot. Hips are in line. Shoulders draw back. Take a breath in when it's there. As we breathe out, I'm going to pop that right knee back down towards the ground and go for the left side. So again, we might higher the blocks or come onto fingertips. Step that left foot forwards. As we breathe in, we're taking the body forward slightly, so you could feel that through the back thigh. As we breathe out, we're shifting the weight back. Just a couple like that. And then we return to our low lunge position. This time, right hand presses down. So for strength, we're thinking shoulder over wrist. As you breathe in, you start to turn to that left side and take the hand wherever it feels comfortable. At this point, you might even find that the toes turn out a little bit as well to give you some space. So as long as it feels okay for you, then that's okay. Breathe in, reach towards the sky. As you breathe out, turning back down towards the ground. Take a breath in, find space that's available. And as we breathe out, we come down inside that left leg. Again, the option could be just to roll a little bit onto the outside edge of the foot, turn the toes away. You don't have to be still. So if it feels better, just be mindful of the back knee if you are moving forwards and backwards or having a little bit of motion. Heaviness of the head, gently stretching out through the neck. And slowly turn the left toes back towards the top of the mat. Might want to step that left foot just slightly back in towards us, but we're still in a lunge, and take the blocks a little bit ahead. Tuck the right toes, lift that back knee, and stride that back foot forwards. As we breathe in, we can either reach into the blocks or reach to the earth, lengthen through the arms, the legs, the spine. As we breathe out, we're softening into the knees, like we're rolling chin in towards chest. Backs of the hands might come towards the ground. And we're in our forward fold. Starting to lift the gaze, sweep the fingertips forwards as we push through the feet. Nice deep breath in when it comes, join the palms. And as we breathe out, we bring the hands to the heart space. So finding Tadasana. The feet might be stepped a little bit apart. And then we'll release the arms down by the side of the body. Maybe the eyes close. The shoulders soften back slightly. Heart space is nicely open. Taking a deep breath. And then bring in the feet a little bit closer together. You might start with hands on hips or on the waistline. And we're going to anchor down through left foot as we start to turn the right knee out to the side. So coming into tree, we bring that right heel maybe towards the left inner ankle. Find a gaze spot ahead and tuck that left hip in and up. Shoulders are soft. Maybe from here we join the palms. Maybe start to travel that right foot up the inside of the left leg. And if we're going there, we're also turning that right knee back as well. So this is about opening up through the hips. Once you feel you've found your position, you may even need to soften slightly into the left knee if you feel like you've locked it a little bit. Just gazing ahead at our focus point, breathing here. Keep softening the shoulders. Take a breath in. And as we breathe out, step that right foot down, release the arms, just have a little bit of movement and a wiggle if you need to. And then we'll return back to Tadasana. So this regrounding point ahead of the other side. Maybe the eyes close or the gaze softens and we take a deep breath. Feeling the feet to the earth, that length through the spine, the softness of the shoulders and the face. And then we come to the other side. So you could go hands to hips or waist, or hands straight into your mudra, turning out that left knee. Find a focus point. So it can be key to find that focus point. Just bit by bit, finding your version of your tree pose. Softening into the shoulders if you've lifted and tensed. Still feeling the breath in the belly. Inhale when it's there. Exhale, we set ourselves back just for a moment in Tadasana. Coming towards the top of your mat. And we could take the blocks out of the way, or you could pop them on their lowest level. It's completely up to you. Nice deep breath in, sweep the arms up, turn the palms forwards. As you breathe out, bend the knees and fold to the earth. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, just slowly walking into downward facing dog. So the seat shifts high. Maybe the heels are lifted away from the earth and the knees are bent. Perhaps the ears are between the biceps. Could always be in tabletop if it doesn't feel quite right to be here. The fingers are spread, a real kind of strong position. And from here, we're going to step the feet out wider. So the knees perhaps bent, the toes turned out on the edges of the mat, and walk the hands in towards you. As you bend the knees more, the seat starts to come down to the ground. You can absolutely use a block to sit on a block there. Maybe the fingertips meet the earth. Maybe the palms rejoin. And there's a gentle press of the palms just to encourage length through the spine in Malasana. You might find a focus point. If you feel super steady, you might close the eyes or soften the gaze. Take a breath in. And as we breathe out, we're going to gently sit ourselves down to the earth. So we might take the hands behind us, extend the legs out in front of you, perhaps give them a little bit of a shake. Might give them a tap or a massage. And then popping the feet to the earth, I'm going to take the hands behind us. So for me, it's fingertips pointed away. For you, it might be fingertips pointing in. If we point them away, we're kind of rolling the shoulders open a little bit. And a bit of a counter pose. Take a breath in here. As we breathe out, we're going to let the knees just drift over to the right. And we kind of push the heart space up and forwards here. We breathe in, turn back to center, seat meets the earth. Breathe out, we let the knees drop to the left. And we're pushing down through the hands to lift the chest. And then we gently come back to center. From here, just shuffle yourself. So you're in a nice tall spine position, feet to the earth. You might bring the feet a little bit closer together. And we bring the arms out in front of us. So a version of our boat pose. Shoulders draw back. We could take the hands just behind the knees. Need to like almost sit into our sit bones. You'll feel like a book point as you do it, but without closing through the chest. So that could be just on the tiptoes. That might be lifting the toes, pointing them away, flexing the feet, extending the legs. There's loads of different versions. Let's start to cross the ankles here. Take a breath in. And as we breathe out, we find Sukhasana. We fold the body forwards, just really stretching out through the low back. So a nice little counter pose for working through core and through low back. Let's walk the hands over to the right side. And over to the left side. And then back to center as we breathe in and rise up. So you could take your Shavasana in a seated position. You could bring yourself down onto the ground. So nice and gently. You might have a stretch. You might draw the knees in and just have a little roll on that lower back. So probably feels quite nice, especially after a position like boat pose or Navasana. So anywhere that we work through the front, through the core of the body, we're working through the back of the body. And then when you feel ready, whether you're lay down or sat down, take up the space that you need. Chin is slightly tucked in towards the chest. You might reach for a cover or some kind of prop just to make you more comfortable, to assist you in some way. I'm going to take the deepest breath that you feel you've breathed all day. Any kind of stuff that's just bothered you today, we're just going to release it because we don't want to take it through into our night, into our sleep. So you breathe in through the nose and just really through the mouth. And if we're seated, we've got a little bit of length to the spine, but the chin might be dropped to the chest, the eyes closed. If we're lay down, we can literally just feel our body melt into the earth beneath us. Eyes closed or soft gaze. Time to just take that little minute to pause, to absorb, and let the dust settle. If the mind drifts away, maybe we place a hand on the heart and a hand on the belly and just follow the beat of the heart or the ebb and flow of the breath. Shavasana. And you could stay exactly where you are for a little while longer. If you're laid down, maybe you just gently lull over to the side of the body that feels right. Press your way up into a seat if that feels good for you. You might place the hands on the heart space. You might join the palms. Sitting tall as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, just gently dropping the chin to the chest. Just bowing down to the heart space. Thanking yourself, your body, breath, mind. Thanking each other. And I bow to you. Thank you for trusting me to guide you this evening. The light and dark in me honors the light and dark within you. Namaste.